would like to.
Stuart, I have a question.
Yes, you said.
During the meditation, I had a really hard time keeping my eyes open. I was falling asleep, which is unusual. And then all the dogs got very restless. I couldn't keep the energy, and I think they felt it. And then I had to get back into it. But what was happening exactly?
Look, you know, what was happening to you happens to just about everybody. I mean, we're not perfect. And there are negative things inside us, there are resistances inside us, and these things come up. They throw us off balance. They make us stop breathing properly. They do this, and they also do it during the meditation. And it's just something that we have to learn inside ourselves how to get stronger then. How to build a system that when that kind of energy comes up, we can instantly take it into the chakra below the navel and transform it into chi. This is what the training is all about. This is what the work that I do here is all about, learning how to do these kind of things. Because what you just described, it happens to everybody. It happened to me. It doesn't happen to me very often anymore, but it used to happen to me that my mind was all over the place. I couldn't stay centered. And I realized, Stuart, it's telling you, it's teaching you something really important. You have a lot of work to do on yourself. You have a lot of growth, that needs to take place inside yourself. You need to get stronger. You need to really get the ability to detach yourself from all of this chaos. And so, in a way, it's not a negative thing. And you're right. The dogs, the cats, the neighbors, they sense these things, and suddenly they get a little, a lack of discipline. I mean, I had you should mute yourself, Isa, because I had a meditation yesterday with somebody, a very difficult situation. I won't get into it. But there was a little, frisky dog there, that was in the room. And as the meditation started, the dog got less frisky. It eventually just laid down there, and it got very quiet because the people in the room got very quiet. They weren't throwing off that chaotic energy, that the mind, the nervousness, the tension. And the dog really got quiet. It just laid down. And it literally didn't bother any. And before the meditation, it was running into everybody's lap, barking like crazy. These little dogs, they make more noise than big Great Danes, And I was thinking before, what am I going to do? And then the energy itself literally got the dog quiet.
Now, I was just, sorry.
Please, everyone, try and sit still.
Yeah, okay, I'll sit
say
still.
this in every class, please, don't scratch your nose, don't, it really disrupts the energy. I mean, there has to be the discipline of being stronger than an itch if you want to have a spiritual life. So please try and sit still. If you have an itch, get centered in the chakra below the navel. It will go away. You'll get stronger than the itch.
Now, I was reading your blog, Stuart.
Yeah.
The second one on the Tantra. And you said that you have to, like you're saying now, take the energy, was it to the second chakra, the hara?
The hara, the chakra below the navel.
Yeah, and then transform that energy. And that's by focusing on the second chakra.
You focus your mind in Some people call it the second, some people call it the third. Anyway, it's the chakra that's 2 fingers below the navel.
Okay.
You focus on that chakra with you. And the reason for this is the mind is a very powerful instrument. It's also a really chaotic instrument that drives people crazy. But when you can master it and learn how to focus that energy in the chakra below the navel, it literally becomes like a surgical instrument that will open the very core of your being. That core will give you the power to transform tension, anxiety, insecure, all that stuff into chi. Chi is harmony, it's balance, it's foundation, and it is the real strength that exists inside people. So part of the training that I give here is learning how to do this, building a system inside that is capable of doing this. That core, I always talk about it, great singers sing from there. Great dancers dance from there. Great athletes, when they're really in that zone, they're not in their heads, they're centered in the chakra below the navel. They have gotten free of themselves. And then that energy can really become an active part of their life.
Now my heart is very closed. And before we started the meditation, I was meditating and I could feel the flow flowing, but my heart was closed. Should I focus on the second one or on the heart?
Focus on the second one. And Isa, just feel gratitude. Your heart will instantly open. And you need the strength inside yourself to keep it open, which is at the core. That will keep the heart open. No matter what the circumstances, no matter what's going on, when you are centered in the chakra below the navel, you have gratitude. Yesterday I saw a documentary that was very charming with the Dalai Lama and, Desmond Tutu. It was probably done 5-10 years ago, because I don't think Desmond Tutu is alive anymore. I may be wrong, but I think he passed on. And these wonderful 80-year-old children were sitting there playing with each other, kidding each other, having a really good time like kids. And you can see the training that was in both their lives, that they could keep their hearts open that way. And it was an amazing thing to watch, because they were like little kids, literally, like they were 4 years old, having a great time with each other, playing with each other, having fun, teasing each other, and yet the best of friends. So what I saw there was so interesting. The only thing that was missing for me is they never talked about how to do this, how to build a system inside oneself that can truly keep the heart open all the time, no matter what is going on in life. And that system is built by truly the development of a chakra system. The core, gratitude, the heart, the mind being quiet, the throat being open. When the throat is open and the heart is open and we are centered and the mind is quiet, when we communicate with other people, how do we communicate? Love, compassion, forgiveness, understanding, like human beings on the highest level. So all of this in the chakra system works together. My teacher always said it's like playing a one-man band. You have to be able to get centered and you got to play all the instruments. And then there's the sexual energy and the base of the spine. And, all of this works together. And all of it builds a system inside that enables a person to, first of all, to become like these two kids I saw in that documentary, like two children who were really mature adults, but two children, and having a spiritual life. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? So just to finish, he said, don't worry about these things. You got a lot to learn. That should make you grateful that you haven't arrived yet and that you have work to do on yourself. And it takes time. It takes time. It doesn't come in 5 classes, 3 classes, 20. It takes time. And as I've said for the 1,000th time, the only person we're truly up against in doing this is ourselves. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? And I'm happy you're reading those things. I really enjoying writing those things. That section on Tantra, I have 8 more of them that I finished, that they're going to be published once a week, And some of them are about the chakras and it's been a very interesting project for me. And I'm very happy people are reading them. Does anyone else have a question I'd like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions. I just would like to finish this with a simple stuff. This is going to be a very powerful year this year. And it's going to really encompass, life and death, and so many different dramatic things are going to come to the fore. A lot of growth for people that are doing deep spiritual practice, and it's something that it's early in the year. It's like the 8th of January now. And it's just something that I'm going to try to prepare you for and talk a bit about, because we're going to have to get very strong this year. It's going to be a lot. I'm telling you, just in my life, the last 6 days, I've never been through anything like this in the first part of the year, with all kinds of situations that are manifesting and having to deal with them, having to be very strong in myself, to be able to deal with these things, to teach these classes, to never allow anything, on an earthly level to interfere with the spiritual process. But man, it's been really something the last 5 or 6 days. So I think this is going to be a really incredible year for growth, spiritual growth, human growth. And I think everybody should truly take advantage of this. Attend as many of these classes as you can. Not that I'm promoting my classes, but get the energy that enables one to do this, what I'm talking about. And don't get into your head about how fantastic you are and how spiritual you are, because that's really the fastest way to kill yourself. Just keep growing, taking in the Shakti, the energy. Let the universe, let God, let spirit, let these teachers that exist for us on a higher level, let them work for us to truly build us as human beings and to help us to develop a system that will create a connection with God, with higher energy in the universe. And I think it's going to be an important year this year. I don't know, it just keeps coming to me that one experience after the other tells me, Stuart, you have no choice but to get really strong this year, to keep building your system inside, because it's going to be very, very powerful year. So God bless you all for being here. God bless you all for being partners.
Stuart, can I ask a question?
Yeah. Yes.
I was first, I think. Stuart, I was first, and then I will ask you again. When you talk about it could be difficult year this year, and isn't it some? Maybe it's happening some death or something. I have to meditate a little. You know, in my life, it's happening these things. Is it because I have to go to grow? Yes. Because my heart is closing, because I have in my life a man who is very ill.
Flor, what is the question? I mean, this is not a psychotherapy session here. What is the question?
It's difficult to talk in English. Is it that you said that we have to grow because we have in this year, it's going to be a difficult year because we have to deal with death or sickness or
all kinds of things. Look, there suddenly manifest people in my life with cancer, with other problems, really serious problems, people I'm close to manifest. And I have to be giving healing sessions for people. And this has been going on now for about 2 weeks. And the hardest one of all, I went to somebody yesterday, a person who I haven't seen in a very, very long time. And it was once a student of mine. It was once very close to me, and she's dying. And I found out this through another person. And I went to where she is and did a really long meditation with her, preparing her to leave the world. Whoever thought that I'd be going through this now? And all of these situations manifesting one after the other, and having to deal with them without allowing them to drain my energy, to get me overly dramatic, but in a simple, quiet, deep, and spiritual way to deal with very, very serious problems. This has taken years of growth to be able to manage to do this kind of thing. It's not something that you just do, you have to build that kind of system inside yourself that enables you to go into a room with somebody who you haven't seen in 20 years, who's dying, and who was very close to you once, a very dear friend and a student and a person I used to really like a lot. And bingo, I have to sit down and do work with somebody who is literally in a coma, to prepare them to leave the world. I mean, the only way I could have gone into that room, and not only that person, but her partner as well, both of them were very close to me. And to see and to recognize that I was not just dealing with one person, it was two people. The other person who had to deal with the fact that this person they were very much in love with is dying. And to see the growth that has taken place in this person. And I was blown away. I told this person that, if I haven't seen you in 20 years, but whatever you've done in the last 20 years, I could not have done for you. And the miracle that has taken place and how much you have grown. And I knew what did it for this person. It was that her partner was dying, and she had to deal with this situation and grow because of it, and become a more extraordinary human being because of what was going on. I mean, this is amazing to me. It was like a chapter in some really profound book. It took place yesterday. So I'm telling you all, growth is essential because you don't know what's going to happen in 5 minutes. You really don't. What's going to take place in 5 minutes?
My sister is had cancer now. She told me 2 days ago. And I have a partner. He is very ill. Because of that, I had to ask you.
You have to get very strong, Flora. You can't get sucked into the drama of these situations. You have to get really strong and capable of nurturing these people, loving them unconditionally.
Difficult.
Yeah.
Especially partner.
Who said it's easy? Whoever said it's easy. Life is not easy. But life is a constant reminder that we can't take it for granted. You don't know what's going to happen in 10 minutes. All of this happened to me. Yes, I got an email from somebody. Boom. A whole transformation took place inside. And it's been a miracle that took place. Really, not that this person is going to come back to life. No, but I was working with this person to prepare her for leaving the world. And to do that without getting sucked into all the emotions and all that, I had to have enormous inner strength to be able to do that. So why I have all these classes? It's to help you all and myself build that kind of inner strength. Because frankly, you don't know what's going to happen in 10 minutes. People procrastinate, they disappear, they vanish from, it's just stupid, Take advantage of what God puts into your life. I take advantage, I'm here. I'm the only one who's always here. Because I know how important these classes are for me. And they enable me to do what I had to do yesterday. And which I probably will have to do again on Tuesday.
My heart is opening now.
Good.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have a question?
Stuart, I had a question.
Yes.
During the meditation, it felt like something within my chest that had been stuck was becoming loose. And then in my lower belly, it felt like it was physically squeezing and going down. It kept like these spasms were like squeezing and going down. Could you talk about that? It was very physical. It was very like physical reaction to the deep meditation.
Yeah, well, look, Paula, resistance to growing. That's what that's all about. It's just you ready to take a big step in your life, and your system is resisting it. Look, I hate to say this, there's a death wish in everybody. There's a part of every person that says, no, enough. And then there's a part in every single one of us that wants more, that wants to be happy, that wants to be full of love, that wants to be connected to spirit. And that war goes on in every human being. And what you just described is resistance to taking a really important step in your life, to really, a deeper level of growth and surrender that will take you on a much higher plane in your life.
I think it was dislodging. If it was resistance, then I think I felt it dislodging.
Good. It was resistance. And it has to dislodge, and you have to dismantle it. You have to break it up in yourself. And all of that is part of building a chakra system inside. And that chakra system is your connection with God. Without it, you understand, it's just chaos inside.
Thank you, Stuart.
And it takes work. I never said what I do is easy. And the reason why it is difficult is you confront the one person who keeps you from having a spiritual life. You. that one person who is there with ego and mind and chatter and neurosis and anxiety and fear and in order to grow in life, we have to confront all of that stuff. We have to transform all of that stuff into love, into joy, into Kundalini energy rising and connecting us with spirit.
It felt like my body was trying to push something out.
Let it go. Just let it go. Do yourself a favor. Let it go.
Yes.
Does anyone else have a question? Who would like to? So God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you for being here, for helping me to grow, and for being, as I say all the time, my teacher. You know?
Thank you to you too.
Bless you all. And there will be a meditation on Tuesday. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. God bless you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome.